What's up, guys? This is our new show, Annihilate, which was previously I wanted to name Shit Talk, but basically the premise is me, Brian,
Michan, aka Black Asian, aka Big Fucking Idiot.
that guy. We're gonna be taking some anime, whether we liked it or not, but we're gonna try to look at it objectively and to say why we didn't like it. A lot of the time, watcher bias can really shape how you watch anime. So today we're looking at Sweetness and Lightning, the show that could have been Usagi Drop, animated by TMS Entertainment from July 5, 2016 to September 20, 2016. Basically, a show about a single dad trying to raise daughter. So that's why it could have been Usagi Drop. But it's not, and that's why we're going to be talking about it. Why it's not Usagi Drop. So we're going to talk about characters first. Basically, we have, the main characters are a single dad who has his daughter, and we have another girl that helps teach them how to cook. Basically, that's the main characters.
Yeah, and there are two supporting characters. One is the dad's friend.
And then there's
the one is
it's like the friend of the cooking girl.
Yeah, and then one character is like, it's not really in anime, but it really affects a lot of aspects of it. Is the dead mother.
The dead mother, yeah.
Of the
main cast. So Sumugu is the girl, and her the reason it's like they don't add many scenes with the dead mother in it, but even though she's not, she's dead, but having scenes with her, and like not even just past scenes, like current scenes, like memory scenes, can really add another aspect to the whole show. But they don't do it as much as I want.
Yeah, they did it a little bit, but because this whole show is based upon how Sumugi trying to cope and learn all these new things without her
mother now. Yeah,
without her mother now. But then I think the show really goes away from that at points and doesn't like emphasize it enough.
Yeah, so like the characters, like Sumugu does go through some aspects of coping with her mother, but yeah, they don't really go into that much. And like even the father, like he should be the one that is most effective. I feel like he kind of, I feel like he's a good character because he takes it very well, and he kind of hides it at the beginning, kind of like side sweeps it, but I think one of the most biggest flaws of is the girl who helps them. The girl who basically, with her case, she owns a restaurant, but she can't cook because she's scared of knives.
Yeah, like, oh my god. There's a point where they show earlier in the anime a scene where Kotori, that's the girl's name.
Kotori, yeah.
Where she is afraid of knives and
doesn't want to participate in cooking.
But this whole problem is all about cooking. It became a cooking anime.
It became a cooking anime, essentially.
But nothing gets resolved with Kotori. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Nothing changes, although she's so vocal within the anime.
Right. She's always there. She's always telling them how to cook, and not being there because she can't hold a fucking knife. Yeah. And I don't think they ever explained that. I don't think they ever explained.
They never
why.
explained it. They explained it. They explained it. Why? Because of a past injury or whatever.
Past injury, yeah. But like
when she's a kid. But I thought like they're gonna show it. They're gonna resolve it.
Maybe.
And then she's gonna they're gonna continue building her character.
Like,
but she just stays stagnant throughout the whole show.
Can't hold a knife.
Oh my god.
And then that's like really the whole show. They don't really develop much because they just keep doing the same thing. They keep reusing the cooking trope, which is because it came to be a cooking anime near the end.
And even near the end.
It's
pretty prevalent.
It was pretty prevalent near the earlier episodes, but it was still containing some kind of like the moments with like trying to teach Sumugi.
Yeah, but after like the first 4 episodes, you can see the direction of where that is going.
Yeah, it was very formulaic.
It's going away from its essence.
Right. Yeah. Another aspect I don't like with the characters was I feel like Kotori, like she almost has a ding for the dad, who's a school teacher. That's his job
at the same school.
At the same school, yeah.
It's not even at.
He's not even a real teacher. He's a TA. He's like a teacher's assistant.
I don't even know. But
he just sits in the corner. He's just chilling there. But there's like a really weird. I feel like there is some kind of romantic thing between Kotori and the dad, but they never get to it. Like they did. Either there is, or like they
it's
don't
always
bother.
Shadowing it. Like her friend is teasing her about their relationship. But nothing
really too big on that. Granted, Sumugu herself, I really like as a child. I feel like it makes sense. Like the way she's very high energy, but at the same time she's very sporadic. As a child, that's very believable. I feel like that they did a good job portraying Sumugu as a child. So that was a good up for them for characters. On the topic of characters, the supporting characters you mentioned before, I feel like they did a good job later on the show when, even though the formula was getting a little stale, they added the extra characters. but they didn't give them much development, nor did they actually put them out too much. Like they were there, and when they were there, I enjoyed it way more.
It was very enjoyable. They had like good dialogue between the characters, and like they didn't really take control of
they didn't take control of it, but
they acted well as supporting
supporting characters. Like they did their jobs really well as supporting characters. And then on contrast to that, like because I liked them so much, it was like I kind of wanted them to take something from the especially with the two supporting characters. You can even ship them together too. Like there's some weird hints there too, but of course they never get into that. Yeah. Moving on from characters, I want to talk about the actual plot or the lack of plot found. So the problem with the plot is that it's a slice of life, so there really isn't any main overarching plot. But another problem is that they became a cooking anime. If I really wanted to see a cooking anime, I wouldn't have came for Sweetness and Lightning. I'd probably watch something like Shokugeki.
Yeah, like there's such a disappointment here, especially because I saw it, I saw the synopsis, and I was thinking this could really be the next Usagi drop,
which is like never,
which was really so good,
yeah.
So good, and like they use in the Usagi drop is mostly on the family aspect of it, yeah. And taking care of Rin, which is the main girl or daughter of that anime.
Yeah,
and in this way, the cooking kind of like is a way of taking care of Tsumugi.
It is, yeah,
but like its focus is too much on the cooking and not like focusing on other things or exploring different options,
right,
like in anime.
Because although the cooking, they use it as the kind of, you can take cooking as a symbol for family and stuff, because in not even just Japan, but in general, a lot of the places to take care of your family is to cook and to feed them. But literally 50% or 60% of most episodes were like a play-by-play tutorial on how to make these foods, which really didn't add much to it.
But granted, after watching some episodes, I actually tried to cook some.
Fair enough.
The food was looking good.
The food was looking good. I don't know. The food was looking A1.
But that shouldn't be the center.
That shouldn't be the center of the focus.
What this anime could have achieved, or like we're trying to achieve.
Right. Yeah. On the flow of the show, it was because of this. After the first 3 or 4 episodes, it became really formulaic in the way that you get the first half is just the fodder and Tsumugi, and then right after it's like, oh, let's go to Kotori's place. Let's go just make some food. And that was the formula. Play by play, half the episode, some real development, and then let's go cook. And because of that formula, it became like predictability, and having a formula isn't always bad. I feel like sometimes animes can do formulas well, but in the way that this show took the formula, because the second half of the formula was cooking, and that aspect was not as interesting as actual development. This time, the predictability really played into, even though there was a clear flow to it, but it wasn't very good. Even though it was textbook flow.
Yeah, I really don't think you can have like a really formulaic flow with like what you're trying to achieve, because this anime really focuses on the emotional aspect, and the emotion is always changing. So I don't really think you can kind of really follow like a one true formula, and that's what Sweetness and Lightning always did. They always something happened, they went to cooking, and then they resolved it. Every single episode.
And like a lot to compare, like a lot of the times when you want even if it's slice of life, this show is very, you can also say it's a drama show, but there wasn't in a good drama show, it would have to break flow eventually. I would take like Chunibyo. It broke its flow to get into the actual plot, to get to the second half of the show. It was really dramatic. Even in Usagi Drop, it breaks a lot of like the more light out aspects to break the flow, and then it gets deep down into the family aspects. Sweetness and Lightning almost never did that. It stuck to what it knew, but because what it knew wasn't, only half of it was good, and the other half wasn't as good, that didn't really help it as much, or at all for that matter. So how could or should Sweetness and Lightning been done according to us, according to what we tell? Well, I feel like taking notes from Usagi Drop, it really should have focused more on taking care of Tsumugi. Not to say completely take out the cooking. Like there's a good mix,
or not to say even that the main character didn't take care of
not to say that he didn't take care of it, didn't care of her either. But like when they do touch on a lot of the past aspects and taking care of her, but I feel like they don't they don't do much things that we expect them to do, like go to her mother's grave, which I don't think they did at all for some reason. And I feel like they could have did such a good episode on that.
Yeah.
On, like seeing what happened.
Unless there's some secret lore.
Unless there's some secret, unless there's some secret lore. Like I don't know.
Like she's like cremated
or something.
I don't know, man. Like other than that.
Yeah, but like they should have focused on just Tsumugi, and then interject some scenes of cooking, but not use that to overtake the show. Also, with the cast, because if we're to say if we're to keep the cooking aspect of it, I would say include Kotori more, because she was really just there to just say, "Hey, I know how to cook. I know the recipe. That's it.
I know the recipe, and I have like the environment for
the environment. Have fun.
Have fun. Just go ahead.
Go ahead, because like." Really, in that aspect of it, she doesn't do much. Like they don't develop her.
Yeah, they did no development whatsoever with Kotori. Like, even that one, they kind of hinted at that one development at that one point in the anime where they said she couldn't hold a knife.
Yeah.
They just left that. That's the little development she had, or like was trying to achieve.
Right. And I feel like with her, because she really could have played a huge part for Tsumugi as a familial, like a kind of a motherly role. Like they could have played on that aspect, and then from like having Tsumugi like treat not even a motherly role, it could be like a sister role too, like a big sister role. But they never really played around with that.
They played around with it a bit. Like it's kind of implied that she is, but it's not really enforced.
It's not enforced.
It's not enforced. So she just kind of becomes like a character that's supposed to be one of the main characters, but is really taking like a background or like side role at the same time.
Maybe also they could have focused on Tsumugi's the main character, but I feel like her father could have gotten more limelight as well. For being a single father, I don't think they emphasized or really showed it as well as they could have. Like I didn't get the feeling that they were a single father at all.
Yeah, like there's a few scenes where they show like her mother's picture and stuff like that, and how Tsumugi was so upset that one time where she started crying. Because she missed her mother. And then, but like, they really don't focus what the single father means. Like, yes, he does learn how to cook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, it really doesn't go that in depth with it, I feel like.
Because like, in the whole single father aspect of it, like, you lose a lot of income. That's one of the main things that they don't go on. Like, there's a lot of economic issues with it, which they don't, like, apparently, the mother's gone, they're still chilling in their one-room apartment.
Hey, like life insurance.
Yeah, you're right. Wait, what was that the secret plot? Did the father kill the mother?
Oh,
take it in. They lived in the same apartment practically before like she died, and then they're like economically fine. How's that possible?
Well, it could be possible. Like,
well, you're losing a huge chunk of your income from. It
has to be that life insurance then. There's no other.
I feel like
it started that, or they were just rich. But then, if you're rich, why are you living in an apartment? You know?
Yeah, you're right. But like, yeah,
I don't know.
Because I feel like, it could have been for pretty cool if they really focused on what it really means.
Also, the secondary characters,
for sure. I would have. If I had to, I would have wanted to really, like, either bring them forward more or like just really put them more into what's happening, because they do a really good job of having them be just a side role. Like they support the cast really well, but also the father's friend, who's a side character, also owns a bar, and I feel like they could have done a lot of cool things with the bar and having the single father and their daughter going to a bar. I feel like you could.
Actually, that'd be weird. You're having a kid going to a bar,
but like, is
that even allowed?
You're not drinking.
You're still not. Sometimes you're still not allowed to go in. There's one place downtown you can't go in.
All right. Well, assuming other than that, like it's the contrast, because it's like Tsumugi, because of losing. Like here's my symbolism behind it. You have a bar, which is usually an adult place. Tsumugi, who's a little child, lost her mother, and her going into the bar can be a symbol for her growing up and being stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thinking. Like that's how I see the. If you add a child to a bar, like, you show the contrast between the two worlds. And because Tsumugi lost her mother, it's such a cool way to like show how she's grown up and she can be here.
And this is why Brian is the English student.
Thank you.
So yeah, other than that, let's just make a conclusion, I guess.
All right. So in conclusion, Sweetness and Lightning, for the most part, yes, it was a decent show. It's watchable, and it's
somewhat enjoyable.
It's somewhat enjoyable. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
But because it wanted so much to be Usagi Drop, but said no, let's not be the Usagi Drop anymore.
Yeah, it had so much potential to be like greater than what it is now.
Right.
Like I feel that's why I felt really strongly to do this as the first episode to bring Sweetness and Lightning and like what it could have done. It had so much potential.
It had so much potential and it has so much riding on it that I felt like it if it like played it safe and just been like, yeah, this is like, oh, they're just reusing some Usagi Drop concepts, but like because even the children characters and like the situations are way different, and that adds for like a whole different dynamic that could have happened. But they just never did it, and they're like, oh, let's just do a cooking show for like the whole season, and that really added like a lot of those moments where eventually I just stopped caring. Like it was really boring after a while.
I stopped caring, but I still continue to watch it. But like
I still continue. I there's a hope that they would actually do something with it.
Yeah.
So that to summarize, they really should have just had a goal in the end. Like have preset developments that they wanted to do, a preset destination that they wanted to reach, instead of kind of just circling around on their heels and not really getting much done.
Yep, and I guess this concludes the first episode of
Annihilate.
Yeah.
Which
with one end.
With one end. I still think Shit Talk's the better title.
No, you have to go with Analyze, Announce, and Annihilate.
All right.
Like 3.
And speaking of those shows, there are other shows that we do on Otaku Box. This is the Otaku Box. We do a plethora, that's a big word, plethora of content. I'm Brian.
And I'm Mi-chan, aka Black Asian, aka Big Fucking Idiot. From Otaku Box.
Signing out.
We're out.
And we're out.